A fairly warm day in Alameda, California today. High is almost 90. Where Sonia lives in Lafayette, was it 99?
99.
And of course, our rainy season is all over. We don't get summer rain, so it's going to be drier and drier and drier. Fire season is not too far away, so lots of changes. It's good to be here together again. It's been an interesting week for me. Lots of good music work. More meetings with, I tell you, I'm getting zoomed out. I don't know about you, but our church is doing Zoom meetings just because they can. You know, usually it's a half-hour drive to the building, so you don't have a meeting unless you absolutely have to. But now something little comes up and they say, "Oh, well, let's do a Zoom meeting on it." So we have 3 or 4 Zoom meetings a day. I don't know what will ever happen if Zoom goes down. We could all be in real serious trouble. Today's concert is called By Request, and people have written to me telling me about their favorite songs, which songs they wanted to hear, and Beverly Vandermolen, my wonderful collaborator and manager, has put all those requests together, and we've looked at the ones that were most often requested, and those also are not to be found any other place. Like, for example, a lot of people wanted Moses. Well, Moses is actually the first thing that comes up when you search for Ken Medema on YouTube. So there are performances of Moses already available. There's also a concert that we did called Ancient Stories for a Modern World, and that has the Moses song. So we're not doing Moses, but we're doing other songs that have been requested. And I was going to start, like I did last week, with doing some rhythm to Bach. But given the day, I don't think that's appropriate. You probably know that we have now gone over the 100,000 mark in terms of deaths in this country. And we are mourning the loss of a brother in Minneapolis who was, let's put it frankly, killed by police action. And so I don't think I can start with lots of fun rhythm. I think I need to start like this. This first part is a quotation from the Brahms Requiem, "How lovely is thy dwelling place," and then the hymn, "Come ye disconsolate," and then we'll go on. that heaven cannot heal. Earth has no sorrows that heaven cannot heal. Joy of the desolate, light, light, light of the straying, hope of the penitent, fadeless and pure. Here speaks the Comforter, tenderly saying, earth has no sorrows that heaven cannot cure. Earth has no sorrow that heaven cannot cure. One of the songs that was most requested, and by the way, I'm going to invite comments from people. Songs mean different things to different people. Sometimes when you hear a song, an image comes to your mind. You think of a past experience, or you think of something that you're going through right now, or you think of something that really has little to do with the song, except that a particular phrase maybe causes you to think of something. So if a song stimulates your imagination, or stimulates a comment, maybe it relates to the song, but maybe you say, well, I was listening to this song and it made me think of so-and-so and so. So if those things happen, we're still more than open to comments and questions and whatever. So Sonia will be sort of looking out to see what folks are saying. One of the songs that was most requested was a song called Color Outside the Lines. And this song was actually devised for a youth event back in the 90s. The Christian Reformed Church, which is the church I grew up in, had big youth conferences for a long time. And one of them, the theme was Color Outside the Lines. And so I keep thinking if there's any song that's appropriate for now, for right now, it's this one. Watch. Standing on the edge of tomorrow, don't know the rules of the game, can't avoid the pain and the sorrow. We wish we had somebody to blame, 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 blame. Standing on the edge of this new day, someone took away the signs, praying for the power and courage to risk crossing over the line. Brand new day, brand new way, never going back to yesterday. Walk on a narrow highway, run down a road less traveled, step on the foaming waves and leave your boat behind. Run where the brave dare not go, learn what the wise dare not know. Follow the path of compassion, color outside the line. When you get outside, your open eyes will suddenly come to realize the wisdom that the blind despise. Rich are poor and fools are wise. Now the light exposes the lies, sees the wolf in a sheep's disguise, sons the power that money buys, and sees the tears the sufferer cries. 1, 2, here we go. Standing on the edge of confusion, don't know the shape of the dream. House we built like a fortress is coming apart at the seams. Standing on the edge of disaster, looking for a light on the way, praying for the power and courage to run until we run to the day. Brand new way and a brand new day, we ain't never going back to yesterday. And walk on a narrow highway, run down a road less traveled, step on the foaming waves and leave your boats behind. Run where the brave dare not go, learn what the wise dare not know. Follow the path of compassion, color outside the line. When you go outside, your mind is free. Free to love your enemy, dream a new community and see a new reality. Free to love simplicity, to offer hospitality, to work against dishonesty and work for peace and harmony right here, right now on good old planet Earth. Let's go! Standing where the river is flooded, still the skies are bursting with rain. The garden we planted is gone now, we'll never see that garden again. Standing where the current is raging, we think we can't take any more, praying for the power and courage to swim till we get to the shore. Walk on a narrow highway, run down a road less traveled, step on the foaming waves and leave your boats behind. Run where the brave dare not go, learn what the wise dare not know. Follow the path of compassion, color outside the line. several years ago, we got to the point in a particular album where there was a need for one more song. I thought, oh, well, okay, I'll just dash off something quick. Something quick turned out to be one of a lot of people's favorites, one of my favorites. It's called I Saw You. Interesting song for a blind guy to be singing. It goes like this. I saw you in the darkness. I saw you. You were looking for me. When you turned your light on, well, my poor blind eyes began to see. I heard you in the silence. I heard you, and you were singing a song. When I heard the music, I just had to come and sing along. So many times I've seen you before. So many times I've heard your voice. Seems like this time there was something much more. This was the time I made my choice to follow you. I know you in the light now. I know you, and I'm beginning to see that you're opening my eyes, and you are making a song out of me. You're making a song out of me. I know so many times I've seen you before. So many times I've heard your voice. Seems like this time there was something much more. This was the time I made my choice to follow you. I know you in the light now. I know you, and I'm beginning to see that you're opening my eyes, and you are making a song out of me. You're making a song out of me. another very often requested song is a song called Wade in the Water. Now, I did a song on this same Bible story several weeks ago. It's the story of the man who is at the pool, the healing pool of Bethesda, or Bethesda. And he's been lying there for 38 years and has had no one to bring him to the pool, because the story goes that if you get to the pool when the angel comes to trouble the water, stir up the water, you get your healing. Well, nobody's come to bring him to the pool for 38 years. I guess the guy didn't have much of a support system. So I took the great spiritual Wade in the Water, which of course, was written as a code for the runaway slaves to get into the river so that their tracks wouldn't be found by the dogs. And I put the Wade in the Water back with its original Bible story. Later on, I'll show you another version of Wade in the Water, which includes an Old Testament story, the Jesus story, and the story about the slaves. But for now, this Bible story about the man at the healing pool, Wade in the Water. I was lying there by the side of the healing stream. 38 years is a long, long time when life has dashed your dreams. Watch them come and watch them go, day after weary day. If this is life, then give me death. Oh, please just take my life away. I've got no one to help me wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Stranger comes to me one day. Would you like to walk again? Ah, please don't raise those hopes, I screamed, because I just can't stand the pain. Flash in my mind, I am a boy again, leaping and hopping down the street, leaping and hopping and skipping and running and swift as a dancer on my feet. Sure, I'd like to walk again, but I have no one at all to take me to the water's edge. When the angel comes to call, I've got no one to help me wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. When next that stranger spoke to me, his words were like some cosmic song, made mountains shake and boulders quake, and thunder crash, and lightning flash, and morning crossed my midnight skies, and hope arose like eagles fly. Rise, take up your bed and walk, he said. brought me to a healing stream. He made me taste of hopes and dreams. This stranger took my hand and led me to the promised land. He made me wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Okay, give me a moment to rest. Let me have a quick break while I look at my notes and see what the next songs are going to be. Sonia?
And I do have a great, something to share.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Come sit so you can be seen.
Rachel Saladis, sorry Rachel if I'm saying your name incorrectly, she said, color outside the lines. Today encourages me to have those hard conversations around hard topics. Racism, bias, privilege, and not be satisfied with just words.
Yes.
Let my life be an example. My words match my actions.
Oh, Rachel, thank you. Yes. We all need to hear that reflection and figure out what our task is. I think the hardest thing is to figure out what I am supposed to be doing or what you are supposed to be doing. What is our place? We think about that a lot in our family. My wife and I are both older. There was a time when we marched in marches. We even actually got arrested for participating in the protest about nuclear weapons. Got arrested outside of a nuclear nuclear test facility. It's hard to do that now in our age. So what is it that we are called to do? What's our task in the world? And that's a significant question. I need to turn my reader on and figure out what the next songs are going to be. Meanwhile, while I do that, let me just mention to you that if you want to keep this work going, you are welcome to donate to interluderetreats.org. Interlude is a nonprofit, and our task in the world is to do several things. One, we provide retreats for church musicians. We're trying to figure out, even as we speak, how to have a virtual retreat for church musicians this summer, because we've been doing them, face to face and person to person and all gathered in a big room together. We take about 18 musicians from all over the country, bring them together for 3 days of rest and renewal, of significant input about how to live from your center of your being. We tell each other our stories. We talk about the journey that we're on together. And it really is a wonderfully life-changing event. We've been doing it for 10 years now. We do conferences. We've done songwriting conferences, and we're about to do more of those. Interlude also sends me to itsy bitsy teensy tiny churches that have no money at all. And I can go there and do a whole weekend of music and without charging the church any more than they can afford comfortably. Interlude is also providing these Facebook events and basically keeping us alive through all this strange time. Thanks to all the people who have already donated. Thanks to you. The blessings overflow. I don't know how else to say it. The blessings overflow. And you have been more than generous, and we never want to let everybody think that there's no more room. There's always room for gifts. So let me look and see what our next... Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. Hidden Teardrop, Sitting by the Window, and Words of Praise. Hidden Teardrop. This is an interesting song because it began as a song that came out of my music therapy work. It was a song that came out of a group of clients with whom I was working, and somebody said, I can't cry anymore. I have all these feelings, but I can't cry anymore. So we talked about that in our group, and one of the great liberating things that happened in that therapy group is that people were able finally to cry and to really own their anger, their disappointment, their depression, their fear. And so after having written this song, I added sort of an evangelical invitation, because at the time I thought that's sort of what you were supposed to do. I'm bringing it back to its original form. I'm bringing it back as a therapy song. Is there a hidden teardrop? Is there a hidden teardrop just behind your eye? I'll stay with you a little while, and it's all right to cry. You don't have to play the game now. You don't have to fight the fight, for this time we'll be together, and everything is gonna be all right. Are your feet sore and bleeding from trying to run away? I'll stay with you a little while, and we'll not run today. You don't have to fake the smile, no. You don't have to hide your pain. And if it gets too hard to talk, we'll just listen to the rain. Okay, song number 6 on the, the top 10 request list is a song called "Sittin' by the Window Prayin'." It's the story of one of the early followers of Jesus, a fellow named Ananias, who receives a most difficult assignment, really. He is to go to Saul being the Hebrew zealot who has been persecuting the followers of Jesus because they are violating some of the tenets of good old Jewish religion, and he feels perhaps like they should be either put in prison or maybe even permanently got rid of. And so he's been after these followers of Jesus, and in the process of doing this, Saul has an experience, as you recall, where he is knocked off his horse on the road and is blinded and hears a voice speaking to him. So he goes into a house and sits waiting for someone to come and help him, heal his blindness maybe. So you can imagine this man just sitting there with hands on his eyes, thinking, what am I going to do? What's next? And sometimes maybe we feel that way right now. What are we going to do? What's next? Is there a healing here? Is there something being given? Is God going to speak a word or intervene or send somebody? So this is Ananias' story. Sitting by the window praying, waiting for the break of day. Sitting by the window praying, waiting to hear what God might say. Well, sitting by the window praying, waiting for the break of Ananias. I went to the door, but there was no one there at all. Oh well, it's mighty early. Maybe I'm hearing things. I'll try again. I went back to sitting by the window praying, waiting for the break of day. Sitting by the window praying, waiting to hear what God might say. Sitting by the window praying, waiting for the break of Ananias. I went to the door once more, but there was no one there at all. All right, if this is some kind of practical joke, you might as well forget it. But on the other hand, could it possibly be? I went back to sitting by the window praying, waiting for the break of day. Oh, sitting by the window praying, waiting to hear what God might say. Sitting by the window praying, waiting for the break of Ananias. Yes, Lord. Go right down the straight street, yes. Make no delay at all, okay. And when I get to that house on Straight Street, I'm supposed to find a man named Saul. Ha! Don't you know that he intends to run us out of town on a rail? Don't you know that he intends to put the Christians all in jail? Don't you know that he's got orders from the Oval Office in Jerusalem? You know that. You want me to go still? Okay. So I went right down the Straight Street. Made no delay, that is almost no delay at all, except I stopped to buy a bagel with cream cheese. And when I got to the house on Straight Street, I found a man named Saul. Would you care to guess in what condition I found him? He was sitting by the window praying, waiting for the break of day. Oh, sitting by the window praying, waiting to hear what God might say. Sitting by the window praying, waiting for the break of Brother Saul. Did you hear that? I called him brother. I called him brother. Oh, brother. And the scales came down from 2 pairs of eyes that day. Saw new life before him. And I, where I'd seen an enemy before, now could see a friend. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key that shall unclasp and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine. Let me check to see, Sonia, any words?
Yeah, this is a quick one. Janine Lofgren.
Ah,
She said, there's so much to appreciate here, I hardly know where to begin, but I'm particularly moved by the teardrop piece, thinking about the many students with whom I've worked with that are so afraid to share their sadness.
wow, thank you, Jean. Let me see here, what's next? Okay, friends. In let's see, what was the year? 86 maybe, we released the album called Flying Upside Down. And the title song was this song called Flying Upside Down. And it's been requested a lot. And so let me be sure. Yep. Okay, had to make sure. Anyway, this song came out of a book, actually, called The Upside Down Kingdom. I think, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, the author, I think, was the Mennonite John Howard Yoder. And it really talked about the whole notion that what Jesus was getting at in so much of his work was a reversal of the status quo. The first shall be last, the last shall be first. The one who saves his life will lose it. The one who loses her life for my sake shall find it. And so that sort of thinking inspired this song, Flying Upside Down. Ha! Well, all your life you have been learning 10,000 ways to get ahead. Future. Those are the words your daddy said. Now there is another calling, telling you to change your mind. Tells you finding leads to losing. Tells you losing lets you find. Losing lets you find. Turn it over. Raise the humble and free the bound. Down means up and up means down. This world looks different flying upside down. Raise up the humble, free up the bound, darling. Down means up and up means down now. This world looks different to you when you're flying upside down. Every day is like a contest. Got to win the war, gotta save your pride. Ooh. You learn to beat the competition, that's right. You learn to smash the other side. Now there is another game plan. Losers win and winners lose. Oh, the risk is high, the end is higher. You can play it if you choose. Play it if you choose. Turn it over, turn it round. Raise up the humble, free the bound. Down means up and up means down. This world looks different to you when you're flying upside down. When you're flying upside down. When you're flying upside down.
Was written by Donald Craybill.
All right, thank you. I get those authors. Thank you very, very much, Donald Craybill. Okay, good. Next up, let's see what's after flying upside down. I've got these in order. What? No. Flying upside down and come on. Oh! This is interesting. I wrote a song for the first album called Don't Play the Game. And it was a pretty self-righteous, accusatory song. You know, pretending you're a Christian is a luxury you can't afford. Maybe you can fool the people in the church, but you just can't fool the Lord. You know he knows everything you do, knows just how you feel. And it went on like that, just berating people, slamming people. Now, there's a place for prophetic anger. But I am not singing that first part of the song anymore. And I've taken the last chorus, which is, will you stay where you are or reach for a star? And I've changed a little bit because I wanted to make it something that had to do with where we are right now. And so I've changed the word you to the word we. And then I've paired the song with Come Let Us Reason. So see if this doesn't provoke some interesting connection. Will we stay where we are, or will we reach for a star? Play the games, be the fraud, or die to who we used to be and live to God. This can be a turning hour. Claim love's hope and claim love's power. Shall we stay where we are or reach for a star? Come, let us reason together. That's what God says. Come, let us reason together, says the Lord. Though our sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. Shall we stay where we are, or shall we reach for a star? Play the game and be the fraud, or die to who we used to be and live to God. This can be a turning hour. Claim love's hope, claim love's power. Shall we stay where we are or reach for a star? We have two more songs on the list. I don't know that we'll get to both of them. So let's do this. Let's do Mystery, and we'll save. One of the big requests was Ubuntu, and this is a real sing-along song, and takes about 6 minutes to do. So I'm going to have us do Mystery. Now this song is interesting. What do I say about it? This is about the search for meaning, the search for divine presence, the search for hope, the search for purpose. And I think that's a search we all need to be engaged in. Just when you think you've got the answers, just when you think you know what's right and what's wrong, just when you think you have it all sewed up, that's the time to ask yourself, wait a second, what's missing? Because life is so fluid and changing, and insights, if we don't keep getting insights, where are we? So I hope your search never stops. I hope you get lots of comfort and meaning and God presence and holy moments and moments when you know that you are living in the Word and in the presence and in the love and in the grace of the Holy. But I hope you also challenge yourself always to learn, always to try and understand new things. That's one of my challenges, and I don't always do so well at it, but I'd like to. Well, I've traveled down 1,000 hungry highways till my feet were sore and bleeding, in search of your face. I was looking for your face. I've seen you there before me like a shining apparition, and when I reach out arms to touch you, you're gone without a trace. You're gone without a trace. I've crossed the bloody river, I've walked the desert sands, I've tripped on jagged rocks where you have run, and I have felt the stinging pain. I've followed you up mountains, I've traced your path in valleys, chased you to the wall where you have disappeared and fooled me once again. Every time I look before me, you're always out of sight, but I know that you have been there, 'cause I see the way the rocks and the flowers shine. And every time I look behind me, I know that we have walked this road together, you and I see your footprints next to mine. Tomorrow's a mystery, and yesterday's a sign. I've looked for you in barrios, and I've looked for you in bars, and I've traveled down dark alleys where I never did think I'd go. I never did think I'd go there. Dog your dancing footsteps among the hovels of the hungry, and I've learned a lot of things about this human race I did not want to know. I didn't care to know it. I've seen you in my mind's eye from an airplane in the night sky, a mystifying monolith surrounded by a circle of fire. And I've heard you like a river roaring down the canyon. No, I will go under as the water rises higher and higher. And every time I look before me, you're always out of sight, but I know that you have been there, 'cause I see the way the rocks and the flowers shine. And every time I look behind me, I know that we have walked this road together, you and I see your footprints next to mine. Tomorrow's a mystery, and yesterday's a sign. Tomorrow's a mystery. together, you and I see your footprints next to mine. Tomorrow's a mystery, mystery, mystery. So, my friends, that brings us to the conclusion of tonight's program. Next week, new material. And I'd like to leave room, if we could, for at least 2 improv. So there'll be a bunch of new things. Most of them will come from the fairly new album called Nothing Like the Rain. And I want to leave room for a couple of stories. So if anybody has a story about, let's say, a life-changing or transforming moment that happened during this time, during this frightening, frustrating, where do we go, what do we do time. Those moments have occurred. I've heard several stories already about things that have happened within your family, things that have happened around you. And the other thing is that we're going to start a new tradition. The song that I'm doing as a closer for the next several weeks is going to be a song called "The Song Is Alive." And the song is a metaphor for several things. The song is, life. The song is existence. The song is energy. The song is creativity. The song is being here with all of your being. The song is a city that thrives. The song is whatever. And I'm encouraging people to think of ideas for verses for the song. What could the song be? And I'll sing it as a conclusion, and I'll give you an example. So here's the way we end today. And if you want to write some ideas about a new verse for The Song Is Alive, message me or send email to ken@kenmedema.com. And don't forget, you can donate to this work and go on the website and download one song. That will help immensely. Watch. Oh, the song is alive everywhere. Oh, the song is alive everywhere. And you are the ones who get to give the pitch. The song is alive everywhere. The song is a woman on her way to work in the city, walking on that bridge crosses a major street. And here is someone high on drugs standing at the rail, and you know she's planning to leap. And so the busy woman who's on her way to work stops and has a chat. She calls for some help. And one more woman gets saved from suicide. That's the song. That's the song. Well, the song is alive everywhere. The song is alive everywhere. You are the ones who get to give the pitch. For the song is alive everywhere. Tomorrow's a mystery, but yesterday's a sign. Good night.